Hello, everyone, and welcome to this mini PPD lesson. My name is Dafne Maldonado, and today we are going to dive deep into a psychological framework that completely dictates your academic success, your career, and basically how you handle life when everything goes wrong. So, we are looking at the groundbreaking work of the Stanford psychologist Dr. Carol Dweck on mindsets, specifically the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. But before we start looking at any boring definitions, let's do a quick experiment to activate your brains. I want you to write this down on a post it, so later we will take a look to it. But I want you to imagine that you decided to cook dinner for your roommates and you want to prove that you're a functioning adult, right? So you follow the recipe, but somehow you set off the smoke alarm, you burn the rice, and you turn the chicken into a brick. What's your immediate reaction? And this is what I want you to write on the post-it note. So reaction A is, I knew it, I am cursed. Cooking is an innate magical trait that I was not born with it, and I will cook noodles for my whole life. And reaction B is, okay, the heat maybe was too high. I forgot to put the water in the rice, and I shouldn't have been on my phone for the past 20 minutes. Next time, I will try to change some things. So, which mindset would you choose? If you chose reaction A, congratulations, you just met your inner fixed mindset. If you chose reaction B, you're already operating with a growth mindset. Keep your reaction in mind because over the next 12 minutes we are going to figure out why your brain actually works and sets to these extremes. But first, we need to break down the actual science of the Dr. Carol Dweck on research because she says that mindset is simply a self theory, the underlying belief system that you hold about your intelligence, personality, and talents. So let's take a look at the first pillar, the fixed mindset. People with a fixed mindset look at intelligence and talent like your blood type or your height. It's what you are born with, and that's it. They treat talent like royalty. You either are born with a crown or you are a peasant. So, for a fixed mindset person, effort is actually embarrassing and it's a sign of weakness. Their internal logic is if I am actually brilliant at business, I shouldn't have to study. If I have to try hard, it means I'm secretly a fraud. And because of this, fixed mindset students develop an exhausting need to look perfect at all times. They will avoid speaking up in class unless they are 100% sure that they have the exact correct answers. Because to them, making a mistake is a learning moment. It's a public execution of their intelligence. So now let's take a look to the second pillar. So here we have the mindset. People with a growth mindset look at their brain like a muscle at the gym. So nobody walks into the gym, looks at the 100-kilo barbell, and says, well, I can lift that right now, so I guess my arms are genetically useless forever. No. You understand that through sweat, consistency, bad form corrections, and time, your muscles physically grow much stronger. So, Dr. Dweck's research proves that a growth mindset means that you believe that your basic abilities can be developed through strategy, effort, input from others. So they don't think that everyone can magically become Elon Musk overnight. They just realize that no one actually knows your true ultimate potential until you spend years putting into the work and the effort. So, to bring this right into our reality here in the International Business Program, let's take a look on how these two mindsets handle the five major human pillars of the human existence: challenges, obstacles, effort, criticism, and the success of others. Let's first take a look on challenges. A fixed mindset student sees complex financial calculations, case study, and says, "Nope, I'm dropping this course," and they run away to protect their ego. A growth mindset student sorry, treats it like a video game level that they keep losing, and they get annoyed, yes, but they keep restarting because they want to beat it. Second, obstacles. When a fixed mindset group hits a setback in the project week, they immediately start for someone to blame. It's the lecturer's fault, it's the rubric that doesn't make any sense, the weather ruined my focus, anything. But a growth mindset student takes a deep breath and says, "Okay, this strategy has failed spectacularly, but the data is telling us what can we change." The third one is effort. In a fixed mindset effort is humiliating. It's like having to study for an exam for 3 weeks and getting a six, while your friend didn't study at all and he got an eight. The fixed mindset person feels destroyed. The growth mindset person realizes that their friend's eight doesn't limit their own capacity to hit an eight the next time if they refine their study system in this case. So, moving on to the fourth, criticism, and this is a huge one. When a lecturer gives feedback to a student with a 5.0 and writes very detailed, the student reads it as a personal attack. They hate me, they think I'm stupid, and then they throw this feedback into the trash can and start thinking negatively. A growth mindset student reads the red ink like a cheat code list showing exactly how to upgrade their grade on the next submission. And fifth, the success of others. When classmates spots on LinkedIn that they have just secured a massive internship at the top multinational corporate office, the fixed mindset reaction is toxic. They probably had connections. I hate LinkedIn. This is unfair. But instead, the growth mindset reaction would be, whoa, let me send them a message, let's have a coffee, and let's find out exactly what questions they asked in the interview so I can get that opportunity too. Okay, let's make this interactive. I want everyone watching this video right now to look at the screen. We are going to do an exercise called reframing the inner drama. Our brains naturally say dramatic fixed phrases to protect us from feeling bad. Our job is to use cognitive reframing to fix our internal syntax. I'm going to read out three classic dramatic phrases. I want you to think about how can we transform them. So the phrase number one is, "I completely bombed that presentation. I am an absolutely train wreck at public speaking, and I sweat through my suit every time I talk to the crowd." So, how would a person with a growth reframing mentality would change this? I'll give you a couple seconds. Okay, so in this case, I think the best option to approach this is, okay, my pacing was way too fast because I was nervous and I didn't breathe properly. Publicly speaking is a physical skill. And next block, I will record and practice rounds and slow down my delivery. So that's how you approach this situation in a more progressive way. Let's move on into the phrase number two. "This math module is impossible. Some people just have math brains, and my brain is strictly designed for Netflix and sleep." How can we reframe this into a growth mindset? I will give you a couple seconds as well, or you can pause the video. So, the best way to approach this would be, "I have not mastered this mathematical application yet. My current study strategy is not working, so I need to go to school into the office hours and ask the lecturer's specific questions, and how can I change my approach. Notice the word yet. Carol Dweck calls yet the ultimate power word. It turns a wall into a doorway. So you always need to put yet into your phrases to have the growth mindset. Now let's move on into the phrase number 3. So my group member told me my report introduction is disorganized. They're trying to sabotage my GPA. Let's take a look into the growth reframe. So a good way to approach this would be, my group member is pointing out a lack of structure in my text. Let me read it out loud to see if they have a point, so our overall team submission gets a higher mark. So look back at the scenario or the notes you took at the beginning of this video. Did you write down a dramatic fixed phrase or a growth reframe? If it was dramatic, cross it out right now and add the word yet to it. As we're closing on this mini lesson, let's connect Carol Dweck's mindset right back at the core of our PPD journey, especially Stephen Covey's habit number 1, be proactive. Living with a fixed mindset is the definition of being reactive. You are letting your fear of looking silly, your setbacks, and your natural limitation dictate your future. You are letting the external factors run your life. Adopting a growth mindset is the ultimate act of being proactive. It is taking the 100% ownership of your professional development. It is recognizing that while you cannot always control the cars you are given, you have the total control over how much effort you invest, how many times you bounce back, and how open you are to learning new things. As international students that we are, we pride ourselves on being confident and flexible. That's the core values that we have, right? But real confidence isn't pretending you know everything and never making a mistake. Real confidence is knowing that even if you mess up spectacularly today, you have the flexibility and the growth mindset to learn from it and come back twice as strong tomorrow. Well, thank you so much. That was the mini lesson. I hope you all watched it and it was not too long. And well, I will say just a last little note. So stop avoiding the hard things. Start embracing the mistakes. And let's keep growing together in this course. So see you soon, guys.